gentlemen, I'm on in, and welcome to the new season for Go2Whoa's Wednesday Night League. This is round one of their Breaking Benz series here at Go2Whoa. Round one hosted at Donington Park GP. Let's get right into the live scenes where the drivers are currently in a practice session right now where they can get up to speed before first qualifying hits us in a few moments' time, in about 5 minutes 30 seconds in time to be more precise. So here's what we got coming up. Round one, Go2Whoa's Breaking Benz series. The guys will be driving the Mercedes-Benz 190E Group A car. So it's a single make series, so all equal machinery. These cars are no doubt a very good joy to drive. Most cases they feel like a wet thong, very understeery, but they're very planted to the track. There's a lot of grip that is generated throughout the four tyres on that Mercedes machine. So here is our round one event details here. So track Donington GP, we're doing the full layout at this circuit tonight. So qualifying one, we've got 10 minutes of qualifying coming right up after this practice session. That will set the grid for race one, which is meant to be 6 laps, not 16. And then we'll go on to qualifying two, another 10-minute qualifying session, which will set the grid for race two. And then race three will be a 12-lap race with a reverse grid combined race one, race two results. So it'll be points combined there to see who gets pole position in the reverse grid. Here is our circuit that we are racing at tonight, Donington Park GP. Distance 4.02 kilometres, very short lap time here. With the guys currently doing a 1:37.3. It's the current pace setter in Blue XR8. So also got 12 corners. The first sector, very fast flowing. So you really got to utilise the rear end to really get the car turned around the fast right and left handers if you're to stand a chance to get pole position here at Donington. So it's going to be risk versus reward in the first sector if they're to gain a few extra attempts. So here we go. We're going straight to the live scenes, where we're currently on board with Cheese Noodles. He's about to finish a lap now. I'm not sure what sort of indication we're going to get past the line. So that's going to be an outlap for him. We'll actually go on board cockpit view with Cheese Noodles as he sends it down into turn one. Going back to second gear. Reasonably light fuel load as well. I forgot to actually bring up on screen. This is actually a teammate series, so I'll get that up right now. So here we go. Here's our driver pairings for the Merc Cup. We've got Backmarker Racing. You'll Be Dead driving the number 22, and Nachos driving the number 23. Big Brass Bulls Racing. We've got Blue XR8, currently provisional pole in the number 5. And then Someone Awesome, the reigning champ, in the number 6. Then we got Angry Mongos. Angry Old Fella not able to make it. I don't think Brenicus is in here either. Those guys sharing the number 16. Then we've got Ty Morgo driving the number 17 machine. Then we've got Aussie Stubbies Racing. We've got Aussie in the number 89. They've got Stubbies in the number 90. We've got Cack Attack Racing. So we've got Kakadu driving the number 47 and Cheese Noodles in the 48. Hammer and Tongs, we've got Black Wildcats driving the 81. And then we've got Hammer driving the 82. We've got Titan Snake Oil Racing. We got Titan, the number 91. Here's the reigning champ in the GT3 last season. So essentially equivalent to the reigning champ of Someone Awesome. Did it in a slower car. So we will refer him to the reigning champ in this series as well. And we've got Eaglewin driving the number 92. And for back in Black Racing, we've got Morningstar Mike driving the number 3. And EXO looking for a big season this season in the number 4. So we'll get that off screen now so you know who the drivers are driving for here. So that lap from Cheese Noodles unfortunately didn't improve. So we might actually get back to trackside view. We might go on board with the reigning champ, Someone Awesome, who's got severe amounts of damage on the front bonnet. I reckon he's really struggling with the aero package there. He's only 3 100ths down on his quickest here, so it's probably worth staying on board with him. See, it's very loose, so very unsettled in the rear end, not able to hold on to it. We'll go on board with Kakadu. He's on the back straight now, looking to get an absolute ripper of a launch, trying to slingshot around. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the benefit from the draft from a guy in front, so he's going to have to do it all on his own here. So heading into the tight chicane now, pretty much 90 degrees left, 90 degrees right. So it really gets you slowed down to a point that, you know, you're not really going that fast at all. And he's 7 tenths down on his quickest lap time, which is a 1:39.8. So if he wants to improve on that time, he's really got to attack it in the first and second sector. But for now, we'll see if he improves in the third here. So we've got Morningstar Mike out on track. We also have Stubbies out on track. And we've got Exo also out on track. Those guys in the last sector now. And Kakadoo's unfortunately lost it around the last corner. So we'll go on board with Morningstar Mike. He's the next driver in line to cross the control line. Now, does he get it pulled up here? He does. No evidence of exit oversteer whatsoever. So what's this going to be for Morningstar Mike? Currently at 140 flat. Unfortunately, it was an outlap from him. We'll go back on board with him later in this session. So we've currently got 20 seconds to go. Currently on board with Stubbies here as he cracks it around the last sector now. Very oversteery through that hairpin there. Really had to hold on to it with a wrestling maneuver on the steering wheel. And I think that's lap done and dusted for him. So we'll go on board with Exo. He's in the first sector now. We're about to get a first sector split indication in comparison to his quickest time, which is a 1:44.3. So, yeah, unfortunately, we've got a disconnect there by Stubby. So, currently, Exo is less than a tenth down on his quickest. So, it's worth staying on board here because he looks to be on a flyer. Still got Black Wildcats and Kakadoo out on track. So, those guys looking to improve on their respective lap times in this practice session. So, next up, we've got the 10-minute qualifying session, which will set the grid for race 1. Race 1 will be a 6-lap race, not a 16-lap race. So it's all out racing to the very end from lap 1 to lap 6. The guys will not get a break whatsoever. So what's this sector split going to be for Exo out of the mid-sector? He's still down, so I'm not sure what's happened for the mid-sector there. Look, quite clean to improve on that mid-sector time. It's not really showing on the sector splits, unfortunately. So last corner for Exo. What's this going to be for him? Did Black Wildcats and Kakadoo improve? I don't think they did. So they're still 9th and 11th respectively. So Exo out the last corner now. He's the last car on track. Once he crosses the control line, this session is done and dusted. Now, was that an improvement for him? We'll quickly have a look. See if he's actually on the pace here. So I can't see Exo on the top 10. So unfortunately he didn't improve there. So 1:44.3 is his quickest. But it's Blue XO8 who's currently setting the quickest laps of this session with 1:37.3. He's got 5 100ths in hand over Eaglewin. And then not too far behind is Cheese Noodles in P3 over 1:37.8. A further half a second back from Eaglewin. So these times are extremely close heading into qualifying. We got one of our champions here. You'll be dead in P4. Reigning champ P5, someone awesome. And then equal reigning champ Titan sees himself in P6. So we got 3 champions in line astern here from P4 to P6. We got Hammer. He's looking to make a good impression for himself in this Wednesday night series. Ty Morgo looking to be consistent and prove that he is a championship contender in this one. Kakadoo looking for a good result tonight to see where he stands in the competitive playing field. Morningstar Mike to do the same as well. Black Wildcats in that scenario. We've got Aussie, he's joining us tonight for his debut. And Nachos, he's looking for a big improvement this season. He's looking to get consistent podium results. We'll wait and see if that pulls off. And Exo, I'm pretty sure he's on the steering wheel tonight. And he's looking for consistent top 10 results in this one. No doubt he should be able to crack up a few good results in this round if he can get up to speed. So we'll wait and see what happens in the first race of round 1 here at Go2Whoa's Breaking Benz Series. Round 1 is hosted at Donington Park GP. So the longer version of the track at Donington. So we've got that added double hairpin there. That's really going to invite for a lot of overtaking manoeuvres in the last sector. And I wouldn't be quite surprised if we see a move on the last corner of the last lap, to be quite honest. Because it's very prominent around this circuit, no doubt. So we're just waiting for the guys to get into the next session. Not sure what's going on here. So just bear with us for a couple of seconds here while we wait for confirmation from the guys. Go, by the looks of it, they've extended it for 15 minutes, so I reckon they're trying to get Stubbies back in by the looks of it. So we'll see if anyone actually goes out on track. So we've got Fluffy Window joining as well. Not sure what's going on here. Go. Some of the guys are really starting to respond. Nachos is the first to react in all this carnage at the start. And he's got the lead of this one heading into the first of the hot laps here. So we'll stay on board with him for the moment and see if he can actually crack a very good lap in this session to put him in a very competitive standpoint heading into race one. So Nachos in that lovely looking 23 car. His teammate, You'll Be Dead, a champion of the Wednesday night series. So he's got a lot of mentoring right there, no doubt, from one of our champions in the series. So Fluffy Window has also joined. We'll go back on board with Nachos, who's looking to really cement his spot as a contender in this one. So just wait for him to crack a hot lap. We're in the final two corners now here. Very low mid-corner speed through this section of the track. The average speed at this circuit is actually quite high because the first sector is more so on and off the throttle and a bit of trail braking here and there. So not much required through the first and mid-sector up until the first chicane heading into the double hairpin. So now we're going on board cockpit view with Nachos on board his hot lap now. This is the first of the drivers to be on a hot lap. Heading into turn one, very deep on the brakes, but he's missed the apex a little bit on the mid-corner and then exit as well. I think that's really hindered his exit quite substantially, I reckon, as he's only just about to hit 200 quicks. So this is the part that I'm telling you about. A lot of trail braking, a lot of accelerator input required to keep the car on track, and unfortunately Nachos has got it slightly wrong at the fast right-hander. So I reckon that's lap done and dusted for him. He's just going to have to get back into the groove. We'll go on board with Eagwin for the moment here. He's got a few cars ahead of him that are all on their hot laps. So he might be in with the benefit from the draft from the guys in front. We'll wait and see what happens with him. So we'll quickly scroll through the list here. Hammer, he's further back. Black Wildcat's also further back. So Ty Morgo is one of the drivers ahead of Eagwin. So we'll stay on board with him. He's driving the number 17, not number 16 there. So I thought he was driving the number 17, but we'll stay on board with him. He's got a car in front of him and behind him. So he's in a little bit of traffic here if he doesn't keep it up the speed. But he's a very quick competitor, no doubt. Very good qualifying performances from him. I'd expect no less in this session here from Ty Morgo, as he gets a little bit of extra oversteer on exit of the chicane back there. He's really trying to hold on to this thing now. Got to be very gentle on the power out of these hairpins, because it will send you spinning if you get a little bit too much. Give it a little bit too much jandle and you rotated 360 in the opposite direction. So here we go. Time will go out the last corner. You'll be dead as set the current fastest lap with a 1:38.4. Nachos with 1:45.5. So that's Cheese Noodles and Ty Morgo essentially both line astern there. 1:39 flat from Cheese Noodles, 1:39.5 from Ty Morgo. Eagle Wing goes up in the P1 now with a 1:37.7. So he's really benefited from the guys in front with the draft there down the back straight. So we'll stay on board with him for the moment here. We've got 10 minutes 30 left in this session, so there's still plenty of time to play in this qualifying session to get as far up as you can. And currently, Eaglewin is currently set his fastest first sector here. This is his second hot lap now. Very low fuel load as well, 10.7 litres. He's trying to get it pulled up for this fast right-hander. Doesn't get it hit up to the apex. And he went a little bit wide on mid-corner. We'll see if that's hindered him on exit of the mid-sector. So your current order is Eaglewind, Titan, You'll Be Dead, Cheese Noodles, Hammer around that top 5. There's Ty Morgo, Exo, Nachos, Morningstar Mike, and then Aussie. All those guys are the guys that have actually set a lap time. The guys behind them, Stubby. We've got Someone Awesome, the reigning champ, Blue XR8, Black Wildcats, and Kakadu, all yet to set a lap time now. So they don't have that long to go if they're to punch in their time. So they got 9 minutes 30 and they must get out on track now if they want to put in a banker time, no doubt. So that You'll Be Dead going provisional pole for 1:37.3, and that's almost equal Blue XR8's practice time there. So he's looking very competitive in this session, because that time has came out of nowhere from him. He's about half a second down in practice there, and he's found that gap. No doubt in this session he's decided to park it up. We'll go on board with equal reigning champ Titan as he comes out of the last corner now. He's a second down on provisional pole, which was set by You'll Be Dead provisionally there. So across the line now, what's up for him? Not going to improve. We'll go on board with Ty Morgo, who since the last time we saw him, he's actually improved up in the P4 for 1:39 flat. So he's currently charging through the field at this stage. We're going to get a sector split relatively soon as we enter the back straight here at Donington. On board with Ty Morgo. Set up cockpit view to see the input of the steering wheel around these corners. Pardon me. So currently sitting P4. He's got to find 1.7 seconds if he's to challenge for provisional pole here against one of our champions in the Wednesday night series, You'll Be Dead. So he's currently 4 attempts up now, and that's looking very competitive so far. He might be able to put himself up in the P3 if he hasn't binned it in the second last corner there at turn 11. Went very deep on the brakes and really slowed it up through the mid-corner. I reckon that's really cost him a little bit of time there. So very deep on the brakes once again throughout the last corner. He had to go back in the first there, and that would have really put a lot of pressure on the engine. We're going across the line now, only 2 attempts quicker than his quickest. And that's Eaglewin set the new fastest lap with a 1:37.2. He's pipped You'll Be Dead by 2.5 100ths of a second there. So the top 2 barely separated. There's nothing in it. And Eaglewin's come out of nowhere to set that one. No doubt he's looking to be one of our championship contenders in this league as well. So what a good way to start the season so far, if that stands as it stands there. So that's Blue X-Ray going up in the P3. So he's one of our practice pace setters there. He set a 1:38.1 currently. His fastest lap in the practice session was a 1:37.3, almost equaling You'll Be Dead there. So no doubt he's really going to be challenging for the top spot. Not sure what's going on here with my input. I can't see anything. So just let me get my game HD capture up. So currently I've got no audio, but we're on board with Blue XR8. We've got 6 minutes 30 left in this qualifying session. The set race, grid for race run, will be a 6-lap sprint race to the end. There we go, I've got my audio back. Go back to that view. So on the back straight now, he's got the benefit of the draft in front as well. So we'll see if there's any bit of a gain from that. So he's slightly up by 7/10 of a second. He's almost going to challenge for provisional pole against Eagle Wind, and you'll be dead here. So this is going to be very close when he crosses the line. And the Eagle Wind's parked up in pit lane. He's going to have to get back out on track. So I reckon the lap times are going to get faster and faster. We might see a 1:36 in the later stages of this session. So no movement there, but what's this going to be for Blue? It's going to go provisional pole by 8/100ths over Eagle Wind. So Eagle Wind's got a lot of work to do. And I think he's come down to pit lane now, that is. So he's got to respond in comparison to Blue XR8's fastest time there. You'll be dead is out on track. What's this first sector split going to be for him? He's less than 2/10 of a second down on Blue XR8 for provisional pole. So the top three separated by 1.1 of a second. There's barely nothing in it between these three. And then you got Titan a further 1 second back from You'll Be Dead. He's got a lot of catching up to do for the later stage of this session. We've got less than 5 minutes to run now. So it's really crunch time later on in this session now. You might see a lot of movement through the mid-pack, no doubt as well. But the close eye is on the top three at this stage. Currently on board with You'll Be Dead. Can he improve? Can he pip off Eagle Wind and Blue XR8 to take provisional pole? He's only half a second down, so I don't reckon he's going to do it this lap. So we might actually go on board with the reigning champ here. Out of the last corner now. Currently sitting P5. 1.5 seconds off the pace of pole position. Obviously, that was an outlap there from our reigning champ. So coming out of the first corner quite nicely. And it's all about getting to the top end speed as fast as possible through this first sector. It's a very deep trail braking zone here. This fast right-hander, you're going to try pretty much cut that corner, but not completely. You'll at least keep 2 tyres on the track. Unfortunately, we don't have another sector split here from someone awesome, but we will stay on board. I reckon he is on board to set his quickest lap of this session. So heading onto the back straight now, you've got to use this double apex corner as a slingshot to your advantage to be able to get to your top end speed. A little bit quicker down this back straight, heading into the 90-degree turn chicane here. It's a very slow mid-corner speed through this section of the track. And this is where it really starts to slow down, as I reckon he got a little bit of a curb hop there. So he might get a slowdown penalty for that, and I think he has, because he's let out of the throttle. Cheese Noodles goes up in the P4 with a 1:38.3. So he's still got a lot of time to find in comparison to the top three. Blue XR8 is parked up in pit lane. No, he's not. He's exiting pit lane now. So he's going to have a look at one last crack at the dice here. And he'll be looking to get into the 1:36 zone. If he's quick enough to do so, he's got 2 attempts to find if that's to happen. Eagle Wind, he's looking to consolidate a good time this time around. Wait and see what this sector split is here. And he's slightly up on his quickest. This is worth staying on board with as he enters the last sector now. The last 2 corners. 2 more hairpin corners to go. Very slow speed. There's a lot of time to be gained out of these 2 corners. Can he get it done? 8/100ths of a second required to get provisional pole. We got 2 minutes 15 seconds to go. He's got a car ahead of him. He might get a little bit of a slipstream benefit as we go down the main straight now. It's going to be quicker, but not enough. 2/100ths of a second in it between the top 2. You'll Be Dead, one of our champions, parked up in pit lane. Blue XR8 is currently on an outlap. We'll go on board with Cheese Noodles. He's around the last 2 corners now. Turn 11 on entry to turn 12 now. And he's one of our top 5 contenders so far. Let's see if he can improve on this 1:38.3. So out the last corner now. Looks like he got slightly bogged down. I don't think it's going to improve, if not by much. So he's 1 attempt slower here. We'll go on board with Black Wildcats. This is the first sector now. Through the fast section of the fast left-hander, fast right-hander. We're about to exit the first sector now. We're about to get a comparison that was fastest, and it's 4 temps down. We'll go on board with Hammer. He's in the last sector now. He's actually on an outlap. You can see the weaving there, trying to get the tyre temps up to optimal temperature. So we'll go on board with Kakadu. He's got a car in front, able to get a little bit of a benefit through the slingshot section here. As he punches past either You'll Be Dead or Nacho's there. So Nacho's all the way back in P14 with 143.5. We'll quickly see if that's him. It is. So we'll stay on board with Kakadu. What's this sector split going to be for him? We didn't get an indication there, but he's currently sitting P11 with a 140.8. So your current top three separated by 1.1 tenth of a second there. And we've got Cheese Noodles a further 1 second behind. You'll Be Dead in P3. So there's a massive gap between the top three in comparison to the best of the rest battle. Currently, Cheese Noodles is winning that battle. He's parked up in pit lane now. So across the line now for Kakadu. He goes up in the P10. Goes 1.1 second quicker than his fastest there. We'll go on board with Stubby. He's got a little bit of damage on the front bonnet as he exits the last corner now. With a little bit of extra oversteer across the line. Improvement, but no improvement on the leaderboards. He's got one more crack at it. We'll stay on board with Nachos here. Actually, use the car further up. So Someone Awesome. He's in the last sector now. What's this going to be for him? He's got to gain at least 3 tenths of a second if he's to get to the top 5 now. So currently, Blue XR8 has provisional pole by 2/100ths of a second over Eaglewin. And then it's You'll Be Dead in P3. Cheese Noodles and Titan rounding out your top 5. We're currently on board with Someone Awesome now, sitting P6 across the line. Not able to improve. So we're on board with Hammer. He's about to enter turn 12 here at the last corner. Heading on to the main straight now. He's currently sitting P9, 2 seconds behind the pace of Blue XR8 for pole position. What's this going to be for Hammer across the line now? It's a very good improvement up in the P7 there. 4 tenths of an improvement on his fastest lap there. So we're currently on board with Kakadu, the last driver out on track. He's currently heading into the last corner now. Let's see if this is an improvement for him. Currently sitting P10. He's really in amongst the traffic if he stays where he is. So any improvement here would be beneficial for him. So across the line now, is it enough? We'll quickly have a suss to see if he improved there. Unfortunately, no improvement on the leaderboards there. So your top 3, Blue XR8, pole position. Wonderful qualifying performance from him to get the first pole position for the Breaking Benz series here. Eaglewin P2, You'll Be Dead P3, only by 1.1 tenth of a second. And we've got Cheese Noodles, Titan round out your top 5. Someone Awesome, Hammer, Time Morgo, Black Wildcats, and then Kakadu around that top 10. And we've got Morningstar Mike, Stubbies, Aussie, and we've got Nachos, and then EXO round out your 15 car grid here for round 1, race 1 of Go2Whoa's Breaking Benz series here at Donington GP. So don't go anywhere. We've got a 6-lap sprint race coming up right in a few seconds' time. So Black Wildcats with a 1-place grid penalty that will promote Kakadu up in the P9. So just waiting for the guys to press continue to next session now. So here we go. We're going on board to the next session. So for the first time, first race this season, Blue XR8 sees himself on pole position with a whooping lap time. 2/100ths quicker than Eaglewin, who's currently sitting P2. And we got one of our champions of the Wednesday night series, You'll Be Dead, sitting P3. Good qualifying performance from him. Not enough to get provisional for pole position here. We got Cheese Noodles rounding out your second row in P4. Titan, equal reigning champ with Someone Awesome. They're both starting on the same row. So those guys going nose to tail, heading into turn 1, no doubt. Then we've got Hammer and Ty Morgo sharing row 4. Kakadu up in the P9 after Black Wildcats, 1-place grid penalty. Sees himself in P10 on row 5. Then on row 6, we got Morningstar Mike and Stubbies. Row 7. We've got Aussie and Nachos. And row 8, we've got Exo all alone back there. He's got a lot of moving up to make in this 6-lap race if he's to salvage a good result here. So don't count him out of this one just yet. I reckon he'll make a few overtakes heading into turn 1 if he's lucky enough to position the car in the right spot at the right time. But for now, it's going to be Blue XR8 who will lead this one heading into turn 1 over Eagle Wind. And he's got the inside line, and it's also a staggered start, so pole position is well and truly rewarded. As long as Blue XR8 gets off the line with precision, he should be able to jump across to the left-hand side of the track there. So here we go, we're about to go green for this 6-lap sprint race, race 1 of round 1 for Go2Whoa's Breaking Benz Series. And we go green here now. And Blue XR8 with a very good start, but Eagle Wind with a very good start as well. Pretty much equaled heading into turn 1, and that's Blue XR8 getting back onto the traditional racing line there. Get my words mixed up. Cheese Noodles goes up in the P3. You'll be dead. Relegated back to P4. Hammer up in the P5. Titan now reigning champ in P6. Kakadu moved up a couple into P7. We got Ty Morgan on P8. Morningstar Mike P9. Black Wildcats round out your top 10. He's under pressure by the reigning champion. Someone awesome. Bumper to bumper now. Something's happened. Someone awesome's off to the right-hand side of track. He's oversteered through the fast right-hander. And he's completely binned it. So Nachos moves up in the P14. I think he had to make an evasive action there. We've got Aussie up in the P13. Exo, he's moved from P15 to P12. Stubby's moved up a position as well. Black Wildcats remained in P10. But we'll go back to the front. Whereas Blue XR8 holding off Eagle Wind 7/10 in hand. So a decent lead to start lap 1 here at Donington GP. So we'll go on board with Eagle Wind. He's currently under pressure from Cheese Noodles, who's a second behind him. And in the background, we've actually got a 3-car battle here. Hammer gone defensive, heading into the penultimate corner. And that's Titan sending up the inside, but he doesn't have the traction on the inside. So Hammer gets a very good exit there. And he's able to fight for another day in P4. Titan's going to go for another opportunity lunge down turn 12 there, but not down far enough. Didn't get under brakes quick enough either. So Titan trying to hold off one of our Wednesday night champions here in You'll Be Dead. So this is a three-way battle for P4 between these three. And they got Ty Morgo, Kakadu, and Black Wildcats in the background there. That's the battle for P7. So, looks like this is starting to heat up as Black Wildcats really loses the rear end in turn 1. Ty Morgo trying to hold off a charging Kakadu in P8. Is Kakadu going to try go for a lunge at some point in the mid-sector? He's gained a lot of ground under brakes there. He's trying to get an overlap, but Ty Morgo doing his absolute best to make his car as wide as possible. Now they go side by side as we enter the fast right-hander. And Kakadu just holding back a little bit. He sent it down the inside but didn't have the traction on exit. Now he's under pressure from Black Wildcats behind. These two look like they're driving the same livery, but they are definitely not teammates. So it's Black Wildcats trying to get an overlap down the back straight. He weaves to the inside, and I reckon he's going to get it. No, he's not. He has to position himself back onto the racing line. He's going for another move, but Kakadu is also trying to make it move. On Ty Morgan, there's contact between Kakadu and Black Wildcats. Black Wildcats on the outside. Kakadu trying to hold the inside line, heading into turn 11. Very good defensive racecraft there from Kakadu. That's forced Black Wildcats out wide, and he's not able to capitalise on traction there. Now, the lead of this race is in favour of Blue XR8 by half a second. So Eagle Wind is chipped into that lead on the last lap. We're on lap 3 of lap 6. Blue XR8 really on the defensive now. As we head into turn 1, low mid-corner speed. Then there's a fast, high average speed first sector. So these guys are really trying to capitalise on pure top-end speed through here. Blue XR8 holding off Eagle Wind. Cheese Noodles in P3. Rating champ Titan sitting in P4. The Hammer's been relegated back to P5 now. He's under pressure from You'll Be Dead. And currently the top two, almost bumper to bumper now. Less than 4/10 of a second in favour of Blue XR8 over Eagle Wind. on lap 3. So we're halfway through this sprint race for race 1 of round 1. We've got one more sprint race to come after this, another 6-lap race. And then we've got a 12-lap reverse grid race of race 1, race 2 results combined. So that's going to be the longest of the 3 races. It's a very good round structure that they've got here at Go2Whoa for this series. It's going to invite a lot of close racing as we've seen before so far. You see it in the background, the 4-way battle for P3 there. And I think Cheese Noodles has just lost that battle there. He's been relegated back to P4. Type moves up in the P3. Cheese Noodles on the defensive, heading into turn 11. Trying to hold off Hammer and You'll Be Dead. They're both not able to capitalise on corner exit there. So Cheese Noodles currently P4 remains that way for the time being. He goes out wide at the last corner. That's Hammer trying to send it down the inside. Has he got the move done? They're side by side down the main straight. Is Hammer going to be able to get up into P4 here? I don't think he is. He's stuck on the outside line. He might have to do a cut back manoeuvre if he's that desperate heading into turn 1. So he's let out the throttle there, Hammer. And You'll Be Dead is right on his rear bumper too. We've got Ty Morgan on the background there. You can see him just in screen now. That gap between Ty Morgan and Kakadu has extended out to 2 seconds. So Ty Morgan got a lot of clean air around him. And he try to capitalise off of that in these closing 3 laps here. Currently on lap 4 of lap 6. Currently on board with Cheese Noodles. We'll go on board with Hammer, who's currently sitting P5. Trying to hold off You'll Be Dead. And there's contact between those two because Hammer suffered from exit oversteer. Wrong place, wrong time for one of our previous champions, You'll Be Dead. The quiet achievers here, Ty Morgo, Kakadu, really been favoured out of that incident there. Both moving up in the P5 and P6 there. And now it's Eagle Wind trying to defend from Ty Morgo by the looks of it. And that's Ty Morgo going up in the P4. So Blue XR8 got an easy lead over reigning champ Titan by 2.7 seconds. So he's really in a league of his own in race 1 of round 1 here, Blue XR8. Looking to make a good first impression, no doubt. he's on the penultimate lap now. There's Titan trying to hold off Cheese Noodles. This is the battle for P2 here. So it's the final 2 podium positions here. You can see the flash of the lights from Cheese Noodles down the main straight. And Ty Morgo in the background there, trying to hold off Eagle Wind. Ty Morgo going out hell wide into the pit exit there. Pardon me. He's really under pressure now from Eagle Wind. I think Kakadu will slowly get himself into the mix as well. The battle for P4. Now let's see how You'll Be Dead's tracking after that incident. So he's only lost out a few positions all the way back in P7. Morningstar Mike in P8 trying to hold off reigning champ Southern Awesome. These two are line of stern here. EXO in P10 holding off Hammer in P11. He had that contact with You'll Be Dead 1 lap ago. Black Wildcat sitting P12. Stubby sitting P13. Got Aussie P14 and then Nachos in P15. So those back 4 guys got a lot of damage on the front bonnet. But we'll go back to the main battle at hand between Ty Morgo and Eagle Wind. And then Kakadu's also in the mix now. You can see these guys bumper to bumper as we're about to enter the final lap of this one at Donington. And that's Ty Morgo going defensive, heading into the penultimate corner. And Eagle Wind's really trying to send it down the inside. And Kakadu, he might be the silent achiever out of all this. He might be able to get them both at some point on this last lap. He's really trying to play himself into it on the outside of Eagle Wind, heading into the last corner, turn 12. So Ty Morgo, for the time being, has had the pressure relieved from him because Kakadu is currently pressuring the rear end of Eagle Wind on this last lap. You see the guys really trying to get the most on corner entry there, trying to introduce their car to the corner rather than inducing a lot of corner understeer. So here we go, final lap of this one. 2.6 second lead in hand of Blue XR8 at the top over Titan. Then Cheese Noodles in P3. 3 seconds down from Titan. Ty Morgo's went out wide through the first sector, and that's gifted Eagle in position 4. And Kakadu might go up in the P5. He does. So Ty Morgo really stuffed it up on the final lap. Pressure really got to him in the first sector. Now he's going to try and make the top 5. He's going to really go all out in the final 2 sectors here at Donington. So I reckon Eagle Wind, he's got a decent lead in hand for the battle for P4 between these 3 guys. So at the moment, it's Kakadu versus Ty Morgo, battle for P5. What can Ty Morgo do in this final sector at Donington? He's going to get an overlap down the inside, heading into turn 11. And I reckon he's got the good exit as well. He's going to try and get him under brakes. He sent it down the inside, but does he remain on the outside? So Kakadu really got bogged down on the outside line there, but he's got an overlap on the inside, so he might be able to hold off here heading into turn 12. But can Ty Morgo do a cutback manoeuvre? He tries to, but he had a little bit of a nudge on Kakadu. Kakadu trying to go defensive over the control line. So Blue XR8 wins this one with quite a comfortable margin. And what a wonderful battle to end this one between Kakadu and Ty Morgo. So Blue XR8, wonderful result there, as well as Titan and Cheese Noodles. Eagle Wind and Kakadu round out the top 5. Ty Morgo P6. You'll Be Dead comes home in P7. Morningstar Mike P8. Very good performance from EXO coming across the line in P9. Someone awesome, the reigning champ in P10 there. Hammer home in P11. And unfortunately, Black Wildcats at a moment off the last corner there. And he'll only finish in P12. And we've got Stubbies in P13. Aussie in P14. Struggling a little bit with the rear end stability. And we've got Nachos in P15. So everyone remained on the lead lap in this 6-lap sprint race here for race 1, round 1 of Go2Whoa's Breaking Benz series. We've still got 2 more races to go. But first up, we've got another 10-minute qualifying session to set the grid for race 2, which will be a 6-lap sprint race to the end. And then race 3 will be reverse grid, combined race 1, race 2 results. So that will take a little bit of a turnaround time to get that all sorted, and we'll have a formation lap instead of a standing start for that one. So everyone will be at their top end speed heading into turn 1 for that one. We might see a few manoeuvres down the inside of turn 1, lap 1 and race 3, no doubt. So just waiting on Nachos to finish up here, and then we'll go on to race 2. So there are your unofficial results. It's Blue XR8 who won the first race of the season. And Titan coming over in P2. Cheese Noodles P3. Go further down. Eagle and Kakadu rounding out your top 5. You got Ty Morgo, You'll Be Dead. Morningstar Mike, Exxon, Someone Awesome. The top 10. Got Hammer P11, Black Wildcats P12. Stubbies P13, P14 Aussie. And P15 Nachos. So that is your 15-car grid for race 1 unofficial results. So we should have a quick turnaround heading into qualifying 2 and race 2. So qualifying 2 is coming right up here, not too far away. And I think we are going to have a bit of wet weather racing as well in these final 2 races. So we'll have to look out for that. We'll see what happens on track. But if it's going to be raining, it's really one of the main equalisers in racing. So we might see an unlikely victorious driver in one of those races if it is to rain in either of them. So wait and see what happens, what unfolds in race 2 and race 3. So here, so I think we're going into qualifying 2 now. No, it's free practice, so I think we're going to get another lobby set up as far as I'm aware. So just wait for that to come available to us. So just disregard this session here because I think we're getting a new lobby set up for qualifying 2 and race 2 here. Yeah, there we go. Oh. I need to get race director. So here we go. 10 minutes qualifying for qualifying 2, and then 6 lap race for race 2. You can see the weather conditions there. It's raining throughout this session. So it is no doubt the equaliser in motorsport. We might see a very unlikely result in either of these sessions. We'll wait and see what unfolds before us. So don't go anywhere. There's going to be a lot of ripping racing coming right up. Into this session now. Qualifying 2, set the grid for race 2. So getting right into this wet session now. We've got a full grid this time around. So who's the new driver here? I think Fluffy Windows is in for this session now. So he'll be looking to get a very good result in that number 17 sister car of Ty Morgo's team. So not too aware of the team names at the moment. Once I start utilising their names, they'll start to get to me. Currently, one of our champions of the series is out on track. He'll be the first driver to get across the control line as it stands. See everyone trying to wrestle around the cars around this circuit throughout these wet conditions. It's really just going to be all about keeping the car on track, no doubt. So we'll get every bit of information up on screen now. So the track is very, very busy. We've got 3 drivers still parked up in pit lane, but it's soon to change. But it's only light rain, so the track shouldn't be too bad at this stage. So I might actually go on board cockpit view to see how bad it actually is. So barely any bit of raindrops going on at the moment. Very deep under brakes. There's a little bit of evidence of entry understeer there due to the wet conditions. Had to really slow it up through the mid corner. This will be the same here heading into turn 12. We're really trying to slingshot down the main straight here. You'll be dead. So let's see how he gets it pulled up into turn 1 trackside view. See another car in the background there. See the water come out of the back of the car as well. Wouldn't want to be parked up right behind either of these cars, no doubt, because you'll be getting a whole lot of rain on board your front windscreen there. Wouldn't be a good sight, no doubt. Limited visibility, won't be able to hit up your apex as you would like. So unfortunately we won't get sector split times here because no one's got a relative to go by. But the lap from You'll Be Dead is looking quite clean. He started in the top 3 last race, but that was in dry conditions. Let's see which one of these guys is the wet weather specialist. I reckon by the end of the session that will be answered. So we might see a different pole sitter this time around. It could be someone very unexpected. We'll wait and see how it unfolds as we tick into the 3rd minute of this qualifying session. 6 minutes 40 to go. You'll Be Dead. He's in the last sector now. Really trying to get it pulled up and hitting the apexes perfectly there. Just got to keep in mind that the braking zones are extended, as well as the mid-corner speeds being reduced with this weather being like it, with this rain pouring down on top of the track here. Looks quite stable on the exit of the last corner. What's this going to be for You'll Be Dead? Morningstar Michael for 150.6. A 140.41.4 is the quickest so far. Igwin going P2 of a 141.6. So the times separated by 0.2 of a second now. And that's Hammer throughout the last 2 corners now. Now who's that up ahead? Is that Fluffy Window? So Someone Awesome goes P3 now. Cheese Noodles goes in the P3. Relegating Someone Awesome back to P4. A 142.8 is his quickest. 144.3 from Someone Awesome, the reigning champ. Ty Morgo goes up in the P5 with 145 flat. Now Hammer's pipped him a P5 now, barely by 4/100ths with a 145 flat as well. And we got Blue XR8 going P4 now with a 142.8. Titan going up into the top 3 with a 144.9. So the times are really starting to punch through now between these top contenders. And that's Titan getting a little bit tail happy on exit of turn 1. Stay on board with an equal reigning champ, Titan, as he tries to crack up a hot lap here around Donington GP in wet conditions. We're about to get the first sector split up on screen in a few moments. And unfortunately, we don't have a sector split there. I'm not sure what's going on tonight with the timings. We'll go on board with Kakadu. No doubt going to get a sector split from him as he passes the end of the first sector. He's currently sitting P11. No sector split from him either. Let's see what Black Wildcat's up to here. So he hasn't punched in a lap time yet, nor has Fluffy Windows. He's got a lot of damage on the front bonnet. You know, aero in the wet is obsolete because that's all taken away in these conditions. He's very tail happy there, and he's going to send himself onto the outside wall. I reckon he's going to have to come in the pit lane. He's really struggling with the stability there. So Black Wildcats now entering sector 3. Got a car in ahead. Getting out of the way now. Very good awareness there. So Black Wildcats on a hot lap. What's this going to be for him as he enters the last two corners? Goes a little bit wider than the traditional racing line there. I reckon there's a puddle forming that the drivers are trying to avoid now. So last corner here at Donington, turn 12. We'll try and get on the power as early as possible, and it's really, it's even harder in these conditions as well. Black Wildcats goes up in the P13. You'll be dead, still holds provisional pole for 141.4. And this Eagle Wind followed closely behind with a 141.6. Someone Awesome, the reigning champ, 141.9, sees himself in P3. He's pipping Titan by less than 100th of a second. These two equal reigning champ in the last series. And currently they're sitting on the same row again. Blue X8 sitting P5. Last pole sitter and race winner. So far he's clean sweep the round, but not looking likely to continue that good haul of results there. We've got Cheese Noodles in P6, Morningstar Mike P7, Hammer in P8, Kakadu in P9, Exo round out the top 10. I think he's entering the last corner now. No, he's actually at the chicane. So let's see what this sector split is for him. If it actually pops up. Unfortunately, will not do so. So you can see the mid-corner speed only being under 60 kilometers an hour there on turn 11. Same will follow heading into turn 12. So Exo really trying to improve on that 145 flat. If he can improve by 4/100ths, he can get past Kakadu. But he's went wide out the last corner. I don't think it's going to improve. It does not. 2.4 seconds off his fastest. We'll go on board with Stubbies. He's in the first sector. Let's see how he gets it pulled up through this fast right-hander. Takes a lot more brake on entry to that fast right-hander as well. He's 4 seconds down, so I reckon he's went wide or something at turn 1. So we'll go on board with Black Wildcats. There's a car out wide there. Black Wildcats has also rotated at turn 1. Having to avoid a car off the left-hand side. I'm not sure who that is. That's the car of Nachos. So he's really struggling in his Merc there. Just trying to put it back out on track. We've only got 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in this session. And currently she'll be dead holding provisional pole here over Eagle Wind and Summer Awesome. Titan and Blue X8 round out the top 5. We'll go on board with Blue X8 on board cockpit view here. So you can see it's sort of starting to clear up now. There's a little bit less cloud cover over the track as well. So there might be a little bit of evaporation of the water build up on the track. Just a little bit. You can see a little bit of small puddles down the main straight there. So heading to the penultimate corner now for Blue XR8. Gets it pulled up quite nicely. A lot of wheel spin on exit. Very good car control to hold on to it. As we enter the last corner here at Donington. Very deep under brakes. Not taking first gear. Wants as much traction on exit of turn 12. Does just that. He's almost 8 tenths slower than provisional time set by You'll Be Dead. And he's not able to improve. So currently, the only one able to improve out of the top 5 contenders is Eagle Wind, and he set it very loose. through the chicane there. And that's really cost him dearly. Because he sees himself 2 seconds down on his quickest there. So let's see who else is out on track. Blue X-Ray is actually finished. Hammer across the line now. What's this going to be for him? Goes up in the P7. Good lap from him. Ty Morgo currently stuck all the way back in P11. Heading down the back straight now. He'll be last car across the line. Let's see if there's any movement from the guys that are crossing the line now. I don't think there is. So Ty Morgo with the opportunity to improve here. He's 2 temps down on his quickest. He wants to move up into the top 10. He's got to find 1 temp. We've been more precise, 3 temps in the last sector. If he's to pip EXO of 10th place there. So he went way too deep under brakes, and I reckon that's lap done and dusted for Ty Morgo. So whatever the competitive order is now, that is how it's going to stand. So you'll be dead with pole position for race 2 in these wet conditions. Then Eaglewin joining him on the front row. Reigning champs, Southern Awesome and Titan sharing row 2. And Blue Axer 8 round out top 5. We'll let the guys go through their start-up procedures. So further down the list, we've got Cheese Noodles, Hammer, Morningstar Mike, Kakadu, EXO. That's your top 10. And Ty Morgo not able to go quick enough on that last time around. P11, P12 Stubbies, Black Wildcats and P13, Aussie P14, Nachos and Fluffy Window in P15 and 16. Unfortunately, Fluffy Windows didn't record a lap time in that session. So that means he'll definitely start this race at the back of the grid. So he's got a lot of work to do back there. So just waiting for the guys to flick to the next session and we'll get underway for race 2 here at Donington GP. So you'll be dead. Very good qualifying performance in wet conditions. Sees himself on pole position alongside Eaglewin in P2. Another consistent front row start for him. And we've got Southern Awesome and Titan, 2 reigning champs, ready to go battle on the second row. Blue X-Ray, last race winner in round 1 here. He sits P5. He's got a little bit of work to do if he's to move up 4 positions towards the end of this one. Cheese Noodles joining him alongside Blue X-Ray on row 3. Row 4 sees Hammer and Morningstar Mike. Row 5 we've got Kakadu and EXO. Both those guys looking to continue their good results. Both in the top 10 last race. We've got Ty Morgo and Stubby sharing row 6. Row 7 we've got Black Wildcats and Aussie. And row 8 we have Nachos and Fluffy Windows. Those guys got a lot of work to do at the back of the pack there. But for the time being, it's going to be You'll Be Dead leading this one, heading into turn 1 over Eaglewin. You got reigning champs, Someone Awesome and Tight behind, and previous race winner Blue XR8 right on the rear bumpers of these top 2 guys here. And you can see currently light rain conditions, so it's really going to heat up throughout this sprint race of race 2 here at Donington GP. So here the engines roar now as we're about to go green here for race 2, round 1 for the Mercedes Braking Benz series here at Go2Whoa's. Very good start off the line for Eaglewin, but he's stuck on the outside. It's going to be You'll Be Dead holding the lead heading into turn 1. Someone Awesome right behind him. And then you got Blue X-Ray who's moved up a position. No, it's Hammer taking P4 off him now. And Titans moves all the way back into P6. Cheese Noodles P7. Kakadu in P8. Ty Morgo up a couple in P9. Morningstar Mike round out top 10. So unfortunately You'll Be Dead has been pipped off the line by Eaglewin. So Eaglewin now has a 4/10 lead at the end of the first sector on lap 1. And they're starting to go bumper to bumper. You see Someone Awesome, the reigning champ in the background. Blue X-Ray also following the train there as well. And then in P5, you got our other reigning champion, Titan Kakadu. Very good jump for him on the opening lap. Sitting P6 currently. Hammer in P7, Ty Morgo P8, Cheese Noodles P9, and Black Wildcats in P10. Very good jump off the line for Fluffy Window. All the way up in the P11 from last on the grid. He's currently chasing down Black Wildcats. That's the battle for P10. He's got Stubbies for company as well. You see Nachos, he's up a couple. Aussie, Morningstar, Mike and Exo. By the looks of it, the two teammates really stuck in the wars in this one. So they got a lot of catching up to do. They're really going to have to work together if they're to gain ground in the later stage of this one. So it's Eagle Wind who's got an 8-10th lead over You'll Be Dead in P2. Now You'll Be Dead is really under pressure from the reigning champ, Someone Awesome. Heading into the last corner now. Very good traction for the top two guys. Gone out a little bit wide is Someone Awesome. See Blue X-Ray in the background as well. He's starting to play himself into this battle. And then you got Titan in P5 trying to hold off Kakadu and Ty Morgo. And I think Hammer's also in that battle pack as well. So we might actually have to go on board with Titan. You can hear Kakadu, Ty Morgo, Cheese Noodles and Hammer in the background there. Those guys battling it out for the final top 5 position. Currently in favour of Titan. He's got a decent lead in hand over Kakadu. But the lead for Eagle Wind is extended out to 1.2 seconds. And that's Ty Morgo blazing past Kakadu almost as they go side by side. Heading throughout the mid-sector here. And I think that's Kakadu. No. So that was Cheese Noodles having the let out of the throttle there. Or Hammer, one of the two. Both those guys driving similar liveries there. So that's Ty Morgo really applying the pressure to Kakadu now. See a couple cars up ahead in Blue XR8 and Titan battling it out. That's the battle for P4. Pardon me. So Titan, he's really trying to buy into a podium position here. He's trying to keep that podium haul going throughout this round. Finished second on the grid last race. We're looking to continue that good, consistent race pace there. Different conditions though, and he's right on the rear bumper of Blue XR8 as they head into the last corner of lap 2. But not going to send it down the inside. See Kakadu trying to hold off Ty Morgan on the background there. And I think Blue XR8 is really stuffed up the last corner and gifted Titan position 4 heading into lap 3. See Southern Awesome up ahead on the final podium position there. But You'll Be Dead trying to track down Eagle Wind and P1. But that gap starting to extend a lot more than what was expected at the start of this one. Current gap is 2.3 seconds in favour of Eagle Wind. He's really trying to put the pedal to the metal in race 2 of round 1 here for the Breaking Benz series hosted by Go2Whoa's. He's really tracking well in these wet conditions. Looking to be a wet weather specialist here, Eagle Wind. But a very quick lap time and quali from You'll Be Dead in these wet conditions as well. Unfortunately, he's been pipped off the line. He's trying to chase down what he once sat on in P1. He's got a lot of catching up to do if he's to do so. Someone Awesome got a gap in between him with the car in front and car behind. So he's tracking well to get a podium finish here. Titan a little bit further back trying to hold off Blue XR8. This is the battle for P4. And then you got Kakadu, Cheese Noodles, Ty Morgo, and then Hammer, 4-car train. Battle for P6. Further back we got Fluffy Windows. We got Stubbies, then we got Black Wildcats, Aussie, Nachos, and we got Exo. Those guys all down the back straight battling it out for P10 there. The final top 10 position is currently in favour of Fluffy Window now. But back to the front is Eagle Wind, who holds a 2.5 second lead over You'll Be Dead. You can see him just in the background there as we enter turn 1 for lap 4 of 6. So we'll stay on board. So I'll actually get cockpit view up on board with Eagle Wind here. Let's see what these conditions are doing to his field of view here. So I'll shut up for the rest of the lap and let's just enjoy the scenery here around Donington on board with Eagle Wind. Igwin's extended that gap to 3 seconds on the last lap. He's slower on his quickest race lap there by 1.8 seconds. So he's still starting to extend that gap though. 3.5 seconds is the margin over You'll Be Dead. Someone awesome in the background as well. That's the battle for P2, battle for P4 between Titan and Blue XR8. These guys are bumper to bumper now on the final 2 laps of this one. Let's go further back. Cheese Noodles is winning the battle for P6. And Hammer's lost a little bit of ground in comparison to Cheese Noodles. He's currently trying to hold off Ty Morgo for P7. So these guys bumper to bumper now. And you got Kakadu in the background as well. And Hammer's really trying to go defensive, heading into the fast right-hander as we exit Sector 1. Side by side now. Ty Morgo launches straight past Hammer. Didn't get the traction on exit. Unfortunately for Hammer, he's been relegated back to P8. Ty Morgo up in the P7 now. So we'll go further up where Titan's trying to hold off Blue XR8 here. Battle for P4. These guys have been battling it out since lap 1 here for race 2. These 2 guys first and second in the previous race, but they don't see themselves fighting for a podium spot in this one. So they're just going to have to salvage what they can from this one. We'll wait and see where they end up in the reverse grid race 3 here at Donington GP. So out of the penultimate corner now, we're about to enter the final lap of this one. Igwind holding a 2.1 second lead over You'll Be Dead. And that's someone awesome in P3, the reigning champ. Another reigning champ in Titan in P4. Almost lost the rear end there. And he's trying to hold off previous race winner Blue XR8. So last lap now for these 2 guys. In the background, you got Cheese Noodles, you got Hammer, Ty Morgo, and Kakadu battling it out for P6. But the current battle we're watching is the battle for P4 between Titan and Blue XR8. Heading into the first sector for the last time in race 2. And it seems as though Titan has extended that gap just a little bit. Let's see if he can hold on. Really gained under brakes there. Blue XR8 is very confident on the brake pedal there. He's right on the rear bumper now as we enter the mid-sector. And I think Titan, he's just going to have to go defensive now. And he does just that. He's really trying to hold him off. Almost going out sideways back there, but he holds on to it. Very good car control from him. Heading down the back straight now. Another defensive line taken. He's really making Blue XR8 slide hard now. But it's well and truly within the sportsmanship of what they're allowed to do now. As he goes defensive down the back straight. Almost getting a little bit of a love tap from Blue XR8 behind as we go through the chicane for the last time. Now just got to hold off for 2 more corners now. Titan is making his car as wide as possible on entry to turn 11. Can he get the power on turn 11 here on exit? He's going to have the inside line heading in the turn 12, but I think Blue XR8 just faked him a little bit. And he's going to have to try force him to the inside. And I reckon Titan, a little bit of a moment there from him, and he's going to have to give it up because he gave no race room to Blue XR8, I think. I think Blue XR8's readdressed that. But it was a very good battle towards the end. We'll wait and see what happens with that battle. Cheese Noodles comes home in P6, P7 Hammer. Ty Morgo holding off for P8, Kakadu in P9. Black Wildcats in P10 now, the final corner now. Remember last time on the last lap, he spun around there and he's held on to it. So he's going to finish in P10 instead of P12 this time around. Very good performance from him. Fluffy Windows making his debut here in race 2 of round 1. Comes across the line in P11 from P16 on the grid. Stubbies comes home in P12. Morningstar Mike will finish in P13. Looks like Nachos will finish P14 there. We've got EXO and Aussie rounding out the last 2 positions in P15 and 16. But your race winner, very well-deserved victory for Eaglewind in race 2 on the wet conditions. Wet weather specialist he is, as well as You'll Be Dead, but not unfortunately, not very unfortunate, not the gain. The time required to get past Eaglewind to get on the victorious step of the podium there. He just has to settle for P2 now. Someone awesome. Very good performance from him, the finish in P3. So here are your unofficial results for race 2 of round 1. So your top 3, Eagle Wind, You'll Be Dead, Someone Awesome. We've got Titan Blue XR8, Cheese Noodles, Hammer, Titan Morgo, Kakadu, and Black Wildcats round out the top 10. Fluffy Window, got Stubbies, then we got Morningstar Mike, Exo, Nachos, and then Aussie. It's just 16 car grid. Nachos has been copped with a 20-second time penalty there as well. So I'm not sure what's happened there. I reckon he's cut the last corner, to be honest. The last whole sector off. So that is your unofficial results there for race 2. We'll be back in a short period of time here for the reverse grid race 3. So that's combined results for race 1 and race 2. So the guys are trying to get a quick turnaround now. So we'll be back in a few moments. Try and get a very quick turnaround here. organise this reverse grid now. It'll be a 12 lap race, also on wet conditions. But then it'll go to overcast conditions through halfway through the race, I reckon. So the track will start to clear up. There's no mandatory pit stop requirement, but if the guys think that it's worth going on slicks, we might see a couple of guys coming for pit stops. That's assuming there's a dry line that's formed. But even then, with the puddles all scattered all over the track, it's very hard to know when to get on those slick tyres. So I don't think they'll have enough laps to make that strategy worthwhile. So it's probably better off staying on the wet compound for the entirety of the race. It's just they're going to have to find a bit of water towards the end once they've cleared up that racing line a little bit. So they don't want to overheat the tyres too much. Starting to ready up. Should be the indication that we shouldn't be too far off this one. So we've had two different race winners in the first two races. Can that streak continue? We'll wait and see. And with the reverse grid, it's most likely we will see a repeat, or a different race winner rather, not a repeat race winner. But it might be someone that we are unexpected to seeing on the top step. So let's see what happens in this one for race 3 of round 1. into race 3 of round 1 here for Go2Whoa's Breaking Benz series. So it's reverse grid combined, race 1, race 2 results. It's going to be a ripper. And we should have a different race winner for the 3rd race in a row as well. So don't go anywhere. This is going to be a ripper of a race in wet conditions. So added complexity to what is known to these guys. It's the greatest equaliser in motorsport, no doubt. So everyone having to control in these treacherous conditions here. So I'm not sure of the competitive order so far for this grid, but we'll wait and see how it unfolds once we form up on the formation lap. And then we'll be having a rolling start heading into lap 2 of this one. So just wait for everything to start ticking on now. So just waiting for the guys to ready up, and we'll be right into this one. Up on screen, so we're about to get into this one now. This first lap will be a formation lap so the guys can get into their respective positions. And unfortunately, we've already got a jump start penalty from Nachos, so we're not even green flag racing. Nachos has already binned it, so very unfortunate scenes there for him. So let's see the order here. So who's going up to the front? That is Nachos. So he'll be starting from pole position, but by the looks of it, he's got to serve that drive-through penalty for a jump start. And we have Fluffy Windows up in the P2 there. So I'm not sure if this is the order yet, but we'll wait and see. So here we go, your current order. Nachos, wait and see if anyone goes past EXO. I think there is going to be... No, so yeah, it'll be EXO P2 by the looks of it. No, Aussie will be P2. Fluffy Window will be P3. EXO should be P4, P5. No, he'll be P5 there. So Stubbies will be P4. Morningstar Mike in P6. Hammer in P7. Tom Morgan in P8. Kakadu in P9. Black Wildcats in P10 here. We got Someone Awesome. Cheese Noodles. Titan, You'll Be Dead. Blue XR8. And then Eagwin. Rounding out your 16 car grid here for Go2Whoa's round 1 of their Breaking Benz series here at Donington GP. So let's go back to the front of the grid. So it's actually going to be Black Wildcats in P6 there. So Morningstar Mike will start from P7. And pretty much straight away, Nachos is going to have to drift off in the pit lane to serve that drive-through penalty for jumping the start. So it's very unfortunate to see him having to serve a penalty even before the race starts, pretty much. That's just the reality of not being able to set the grids ourselves. And you've really got to be cautious, and when you start to drift forward in your start box. So Nachos should lead this one before the after the last corner, but might drift off. Wait and see if he serves it now or if he serves it later. But currently it's Nachos leading this one over Aussie and Fluffy Window. So Nachos is just going to go ahead around now. He's going to lead this one heading into turn 1. So drifting off now from the control line. Nachos with a decent gap in hand over Aussie. Is Fluffy Window going to look to make a lunge down the inside? Not up far enough. Those few guys in the top 4 are separated with even space there. So Exo in P5 now. We've got contact up ahead. That's the car of Nachos. He's out of this one already. Where is he in all this? So he's drifted all the way back in the P8 now. We've got signs flying everywhere. I think the cars went off. Wait and see if we can see it further up. But currently it's Fluffy Window leading this one over Stubbies. Then Exo and P3. We've got Black Wildcats in P4, and he's really buying himself into this battle now on the final podium position. We're on lap 2 of lap 12. And we've got a car off in the background there. That's the car of Hammer there. He's completely binned it. Too much jandle on the throttle, and he sees himself into the infield there. The side-by-side contact between Someone Awesome. Cheese Noodles as well. He's off the track now. So these guys in the back of the pack really struggling for position here. See Blue X8 moving up positions as well. You'll be dead in P10, Titan P9. So those guys are some of our biggest movers so far. And that was Fluffy Window taking a lot of the inside curve at the chicane. So we'll go further up. Fluffy's lost a lot of ground as well. So he's been relegated back to P8. So Stubbies now has the lead of this one over Black Wildcats. There's Ty Morgo and Exo round out your top 4. Nachos has moved back up into the top 5 now as well. So he's tracking a good recovery now. And we've got Morningstar Mike in P6. He's holding off Aussie in P7. Titan catching up to the back of Aussie in P8. He's currently under pressure from behind. No, he's not. You'll be dead is though. He's got a couple cars in his rear view mirror now. I think that's Titan. No Blue X8 trying to send that down the inside as he gets a little bit of a nudge in the rear. There's a massive dive from Fluffy Window, and there's carnage everywhere at turn 1. Thank God we only have one car off. I think that's the car of Aussie because he's completely binned his front end of his car. And then Exo's also been caught out in this as well by the looks of it. He's been caught out in something at some point on the last lap. See the evidence there with the damage on this front bonnet. So back to the lead of this one. It's Stubbies who's leading over Ty Morgo. And it's less than 2 tenths in this for the lead of the race. Ty Morgo trying to send it down the inside as we go side by side around the slingshot corner. And that's Ty Morgo moving up into P1. Morningstar Mike and Black Wildcats battling it out in the background. So bumper to bumper these two. This is the battle for P3. Black Wildcats lost a little bit of ground off the last corner. So he's going to have to get back into the groove if he's to make a move relatively soon. We're on lap 3 of lap 12. So Titans trying to hold off P5 from Blue XR8 behind. We've got Someone Awesome in P7, Eagle Wind in P8. Hammer in P9 and Nachos round out your top 10. So these top championship contenders really battling it out in the mid-pack now. They're just trying to survive the early laps to see if they can gain a few positions up via mistake. If not, they're really going to have to race hard to the end. But currently, Titan has a slight lead over Blue XR8. With a car sending it down the inside. So Black Wildcat sending it down the inside at turn 1. He's going to move up in the P3, is he? And he sent Morningstar Mike out wide there. But that's hard for racing between those two. As Blue XR8 starting to get himself into the mix now for P4. And he does just that. Because Morningstar Mike, well, he's actually got P4 back momentarily. He's really unsettled on corner entry there. You got the car in the background, the Blue XR8 as Morningstar Mike goes out wide and he has to give position there to both Blue XR8 and Someone Awesome. Now he's under pressure from Eagle Wind in P7. We've got Stubbies in P8 behind as well. That's Morningstar Mike getting it all out sideways there. Drift City for him. So these guys really trying to keep it on track. Morningstar Mike really struggling with the stability of his car in the wet. You see the rain start to pour down now as we enter lap 4. Side by side down the main back straight here between Black Wildcats and Titan. Titan takes the move up in the P2 as Black Wildcats has to back out of it there. Blue XRA's got the inside line heading into turn 11. No, he doesn't, because Black Wildcats got a better exit off the chicane there. Now Blue XRA's trying to go for a dive down the inside. A little bit of a love tap, just pushing me out of the way. Blue XRA, very hard fought manoeuvre there from those two guys. Now Black Wildcats is under pressure from our reigning champ, Someone Awesome, who's trying to send that down the inside, but it's Black Wildcats trying to return the favour there on Blue XRA. But he really had to bring that car to a complete stop through the mid-corner. We've got Morningstar Mike trying to hold off a pack of cars in Eagle Wind and Hammer. That's the battle for P6. They're about to go 3 wide heading into turn 1. We'll go further back to see how it's unfolding behind us. You'll be dead battling it out there as well. He's in P9. We've got Cheese Noodles in P10 a little further back. So Morningstar Mike trying to hold off Eagle Wind. And he's trying to take a look down the inside, heading to the fast right-hander. But Morningstar Mike has defended that opportunity very well, as he's up on his quickest race lap now. So he's currently sitting P6, trying to hold off Eagle Wind in P7. And he's really doing a good job in keeping him behind. So Ty Morgo's really extended the gap at the top to 6.9 seconds. It's drifted over 7 seconds now over Titan in P2. Blue XR8, he's moved from the back of the grid up in the P3. It's a very good performance from him so far. We're only on lap 5 of 12. So we're halfway through this one. We've still got a lot of laps to go here. Morningstar Mike still holding off P6. Now he's on the rear end of Black Wildcats, trying to send it down the inside of turn 11. And he should be able to get it done before the braking zone as we go side by side. A little bit of contact, but Morningstar Mike's going to pull it off. But his Black Wildcat's going to get a cut back here. No, he isn't. He's rotated it completely. 360 and he's out of it. So that invites Hammer, You'll Be Dead, Eagle Wind up a position each. Cheese Noodles also. And that Stubby's in the background as well, trying to get past Black Wildcats who just spun out earlier. So that's the final top 10 position there. We've got Exo on P12. He's carrying a little bit of damage there. Fluffy Window on P13. Kakadu trying to take a look down the inside of Fluffy Window heading into turn 12. He's not up far enough. Going to have to hold back a little while longer. Nachos in P15. And then Aussie round out the 16 car field in P16 so far. So that's your current report in terms of race standings now. And it's Ty Morgo with a huge lead over Blue XR8 in P2. 7.3 seconds is the gap in these wet conditions at Donington. You can't see any of the cars in the background yet, so he's really blazing away at P1. And this is the battle for P2 between Blue XR8 reigning champ, Someone Awesome. You've got Titan in the background as well on P4. So these two are teammates. They're not going to be looking to really ruin each other's races here in race 3. It's a big haul of points on offer for these two. No doubt these guys so far will be leading the team's championship as well. So Blue XR8 is really setting blistering lap times now. We're on lap 6 of 12. He's trying to take the defensive line, heading into turn 11 on his teammate, Someone Awesome, who's had a little bit of a drift on exit there. So these guys just trying to circulate the laps and try to be there towards the end of the race. Ty Morgo out of the picture now. He's pretty much won this race halfway through as we enter lap 7 of lap 12. He still holds a 6.3 second lead over Blue XR8 Ty Morgo. So he's still got a decent gap in hand. So Morningstar Mike, he's moved up in the P4 over our reigning champ Titan. So that's a very good move there for him. He's tracking well to get a good result in race 3 here. As you see him have a little bit of a moment there, a little bit of a drift manoeuvre But he holds onto it. Wouldn't have lost too much time there as we enter the fast right-hander heading into the mid-sector. So he's got a little bit of a gap in between himself and Titan. And you got You'll Be Dead right on the rear bumper of Titan there. Hammer also in this battle, as well as Eagle Wind and Cheese Noodles. Those 4 drivers all battling for 6th position there, which is currently being occupied by You'll Be Dead, one of our previous champions here at Go2Whoa. So you can really see the caliber of the drivers in this series. We've got 2 reigning champs. We've got a champion in You'll Be Dead. He's won 2 series at Go2Whoa. So he's won 2 of the last 4 series, and he's really on for a charge here. He's really trying to play himself into championship contention in the first round here. He's currently sitting P6, trying to hold off Hammer on the outside, heading into turn 11. And that's Eagle Wind trying to send it down the inside. He just gets it pulled up as he tries to pinch a little bit of the rear brake. And now that's Hammer trying to make a move on the inside, heading into turn 12. He's only showing the nose there, not able to get him under brake, so You'll Be Dead safe for another lap at least. You can see Morningstar Mike up ahead. And he's got a little bit of a gap in between him and Titan as we're about to go 3 wide, heading into turn 1 with You'll Be Dead and Hammer as well. Side by side we go, heading into turn 1. Titan versus You'll Be Dead. 2 champions of this series at Go2Whoa. Battling it out, line of stern here on lap 8. So those 2 currently in the top 5 now. Our other reigning champion and someone awesome is currently sitting P3, and that's a massive send down the inside from You'll Be Dead. Side by side through the mid-sector now. But You'll Be Dead stuck on the outside line, and Hammer's trying to play himself into it as well. He's trying to get into the middle of all this. But there's not enough race room there. And that's Titan, race done. He's going to lose a few positions here. Lucky to not completely bin it. He's been relegated back to P8 now. Morningstar Mike currently in P9, chasing him down as they go bumper to bumper. A little bit of a love tap there from Morningstar Mike, I reckon. But they live to fight another day. Down the back straight on lap 8. Ty Morgo with the 6-second lead over Blue XR8. So the Blue XR8 really starting to chip into that lead of Ty Morgo now. How long can Ty Morgo hold off? He's got 4 laps to go after this one. You can see Blue XR8 in the background there. So he's really starting to catch up to the back of this pack. So the 2 teammates, Blue XR8 and Someone Awesome, currently sitting 2nd and 3rd. You see a little bit of hesitation there from Someone Awesome to back out of the throttle as we see Blue XR8 drift off in the pit lane now. I'm not sure what this is for. Looks like he's going for a set of slicks by the looks of it. This is a very risky move here. So Someone Awesome has moved up into P2 as a result of Blue XR8's pit stop here. And I'm not sure why he's actually coming to the pits if it's not for slicks. There's Cheese Noodles in P3. You can see Eagle in the background in P4. Morningstar Mike moving up in the P5 there. As previous champion You'll Be Dead has been set back a little bit into P6. He's currently holding off a charging Hammer in P7. And you can see You'll Be Dead really struggling with the rear stability there through the fast right-hander heading into the mid-sector. So we're currently on lap 9 of lap 12. Laps starting to tick down now. It's Ty Morgo with an 8.7 second lead over Someone Awesome in P2. So he's really charging away now, Ty Morgo, in the prime seat and get his first race win of the season in the big one of round 1. We've got a car off to the right-hand side there. That's the car of Eagle Wind, so he's stuffed up at some point, and he's carrying a sign along with him as well. So he's going to get a little bit more damage from that as well. So Hammer is trying to get on the rear bumper of You'll Be Dead now. So we'll go further up on board with You'll Be Dead. And he'll take you on board a lap around Donington next time around. Cockpit view. You guys can turn up the volume as I take a lap rest here. As he gets the rear set out sideways there. Drift City for You'll Be Dead. He's held onto it quite nicely. And I think that's the car of Fluffy Window there. the teammate car of Ty Morgo, who's currently winning this race. So enjoy a lap on board with previous champion, You'll Be Dead. So I hope you enjoyed that onboard view with You'll Be Dead. You almost diff-locked it heading into turn 11, but good car control to keep it settled on corner entry there. So he's tracking well to get a good top 5 result here and really put himself into the competitive top 5 order as well in the championship. So currently it's Ty Morgo who leads this one by 7.5 seconds over Someone Awesome. So he's got a huge lead and he's on the penultimate lap here around Donington. Lap 11 of 12. Someone Awesome tracking well in P2 here. He's got clean air in front of him and behind him. He's lost the rear end a little bit. Just held onto it on the back straight. Lucky not to completely rotate it. Cheese Noodles, a very good quiet performance from him so far. He should be able to finish this one in P3 and really put himself in the mix as a contender as well. So no doubt the championship standings will be extremely close. As for the team's championship, the team that stood out tonight is Big Brass Balls Racing of Southern Awesome and Blue XR8. Both those guys have had very good performances this round. Ty Morgo, so pretty much the sole car in his team so far, getting all the work out for him. He's currently in P1. His teammate Fluffy Window all the way back in P15 there. And something's happened to Titan because he's been relegated all the way back to P13. So on the last lap now, pretty much. Morningstar Mike trying to hold off You'll Be Dead. This is the battle for P4. So You'll Be Dead would really try to make this move and really get a little bit more points on board his points hole. So out of turn 1, a very good exit from You'll Be Dead on the rear bumper of Morningstar Mike now. As we go bumper to bumper throughout the first sector, very fast flowing sections of the track this one. As they try to keep their cars planted through these fast left and right handers. And that's Morningstar Mike on out wide. The pressure has got to him and You'll Be Dead. He's going to send it around the outside of Morningstar Mike. And he's going to move up in the P4 on the final lap. You can see Eggwind in the background trying to battle it out with Blue XR8. It's battle for P6. Drifting around this fast right-hander for Eaglewind. Very good car control from him. Blue XR8 trying to catch up that lost ground. Got to remember he came into the pits. I'm not sure why. But Eggwind's really unsettled with the rear stability there. Now he's really under pressure from Blue XR8. He has to go defensive heading into the chicane. And he's making his car as wide as possible. The only opportunity for Blue XR8 is the 2 hairpins in the last sector as they go side by side through the chicane. Blue XR8 with the inside line. Is he able to pull it up heading into the braking zone? A little bit of a love tap there. Very good defensive braking there from Eaglewind. Eaglewind, he might be able to hold off if he can take the defensive line heading into turn 12. The only opportunity for Blue XRA is the cut back here. Is he going to pull it off? He's going for it. But he's not going to get the traction, is he? No, he's not going to get it. So, Eaglewind is going to hold off P6 over Blue XRA and P7. Hammer's going to come home in P8. Kakadu around the penultimate corner now in P11. He's currently sitting P9. Exo in P10. Stubby's in P11. Black Wildcats in P12. Titan in P13. Nachos finishing in P14 there. Fluffy Windows in P15 there. And I think we've had a retirement as well. I think that is the car of Aussie, unfortunately. But I think he will get points for this race. So Ty Morgo, we've had 3 different race winners in round 1. No doubt the championship standings are going to be all over the place. The top 5 are going to be pretty much a will-to-will head into round 2. This is the 6-round series here at Go2Whoa. This is the Breaking Benz series here. This was round 1 at Donington GP. So we'll get into our next week's schedule for this series. So next week we'll see us at Silverstone Classic GP. So it's a very fast-flowing circuit. Very old style, suiting the car combination as well in the Mercedes-Benz Group A car, the 190E Mercedes. So I'll see you there next week. That will start at the same time at 8:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. But for now, in between then, we've got a few more streams coming up.